What is happening at JGaming Dude here, and Xbox is supposedly now exploring more possible tiers for Game Pass. So, Game Pass, when it originally launched, had a tier for just Xbox game, like just console Game Pass, a tier for just PC Game Pass, or if you wanted a mixture of both, you had Game Pass Ultimate. And of course, at the time, Game Pass was absolutely an excellent price to amount of gaming ratio. Like, it was really good pretty much in terms of the value that you were getting. You would pay like $10 a month and you would get access to a wide array, a wide variety of games that are available in the Game Pass library. Now, with that being said though, your initial 3 months would probably be about $1, and then they would charge you the $10 a month after that. So they had a really good way of being able to bring you in, and a lot of really good ways to try and keep you in. And of course, Xbox exclusives were all coming to Xbox Game Pass day one on top of it. So what did you honestly have to lose? Now, since then, a bunch of changes have been made where so the prices have increased to where Game Pass for console is now $15 a month, Game Pass for PC is $12 a month, Ultimate is $20 a month, and they've removed Game Pass console in favor of Game Pass Standard, which is the $15 a month tier that I'm referring to, that adds the ability to play online but removes the prospect of day one titles, to the point where for Xbox exclusives to appear on the actual service for that particular tier, you're probably looking at about as little as 6 to 12 months, if not longer than that. Now, stuff like cloud gaming are only available on Ultimate, and now with cloud gaming becoming a much bigger thing, pretty much with the whole console-less bundle that's being sold, which is an Xbox controller and an Amazon Fire Stick. So pretty much Microsoft, or rather Xbox and Amazon, have shaken hands, made a deal to be like, here, we're going to bundle these two products together so that you can play Xbox as long as you have a TV or a screen or a monitor with some internet available to you. With that being said though, there's a handful of things that are really rubbing me up the wrong way about the addition of additional tiers, because the original draw of this whole thing was the simplicity of easily being able to understand exactly what it is that you want, and it's also quite simple to understand. In fact, when I think PlayStation Plus was being revamped to be a little bit more like Game Pass, but obviously it never was really, and never has been since. People were like, oh, it's 3 tiers, like that seems really confusing. Whereas like you only had 2 tiers to worry about, either console and Ultimate or PC and Ultimate. That's kind of all you really needed, to be honest, to know. So 2 tiers for either if you're a console player or if you're a PC player. However, in the case of PlayStation Plus players, we always had 3 tiers, being Essential, Extra, and then Premium for just, sort of beyond that point. Now, these are all coming from Windows Central, so it'll be interesting to kind of see what the general idea or gist of all of this is, but pretty much it's claimed that subscribers to this, so Microsoft is reportedly working towards a cloud-only Game Pass tier that would be relatively cheap and accessible, as users wouldn't need to own a console. It's claimed that subscribers to this tier would also be able to purchase digital games, which would tie in with Microsoft's plan to let players stream titles they own through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, when they did release it, generally most of the sentiment around Xbox Cloud Gaming was that this is a way of being able, currently as the product is only a way of being able to give people an additional way to play, but not a way of being able to bring new people in. There is very much a possibility that with what Microsoft is trying to do, they are turning it into a way in which people can start playing Xbox games without having to have owned an Xbox previously, or to have had any sort of nostalgia towards Xbox in the past. So you may not have needed to play any games in the past, have owned any games, and is just giving you a much cheaper alternative to be able to get in, albeit that you do need to have fairly good internet. Windows Central also claimed to have heard very tentative rumors that the Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family plan could return in some form. I don't know if it was released in other parts of the world. It certainly was in my area, though I never looked too much into it because, you know, it genuinely just did not interest me at all. But yeah, so for it to have been $25 a month, which is a price reportedly considered to be too generous by publishers, took place in 8 countries. Yeah, no, that's why quite a lot of people may not have actually heard of it happening initially. And while Microsoft previously said it was exploring the possibility of offering access to Game Pass in exchange for viewing ads, Windows Central claims the company isn't currently actively working towards an ad-based subscription tier, but the fact that they thought about it at all is kind of a concern and a worry, because there was a point where games, EA games, sports games specifically, had advertisements in between, you know, the halfway point of, you know, games, or at the end or beginning. So pretty much having like unskippable advertisements in an ad-supported tier just to have a cheaper alternative to Game Pass is kind of what exactly has also been happening in the streaming space as well. I'm sure Netflix has, I mean, I haven't used Netflix in also like more than 7 years, but I'm pretty sure Netflix has already kind of, you know, stepped into that space, and I think Amazon Prime Video as well, though I'm putting these names out, I'm not 100% if they do have that ad-supported cheaper tier. Yeah, so I don't know what Xbox is doing at the moment. So the simplicity is kind of gone if they add more tiers. The value is gone if they keep increasing the price to the point where you're better off buying games. It seems clear that Xbox is trying to earn as much money out of each individual person as they can. So even if you did do, like, for example, a cheaper tier that was ad supported, for example, they would be making more money off ads than they would people on the higher tier. So that means people on the lower tiers are actually hurting their experience by allowing Xbox to make more money off of them. Now, do I know what the numbers are? Absolutely not. I'm just kind of trying to extrapolate based on what has happened in the past with streaming services, especially in the video streaming space, or, you know, TV streaming space, whatever you want to call it. Pretty much the Netflix, the Hulu, the Disney Plus of the world, pretty much. With that being said, though, I still continue to say that I think subscription services are not they're the way of the future for companies, but not the way of the future for those of us that consume the media. So at the end of the day, this kind of makes me happy that I didn't jump into Xbox Game Pass, but also makes me extra angry that, like, because so many people are, this may very well be the future moving forward as far as like what streaming looks like in the gaming space. Could PlayStation Plus follow their lead? Potentially, because again, Xbox did start charging for online play from the original Xbox going into the Xbox 360, and PlayStation had only started doing that on the PS4 generation, and Nintendo started doing that with the Switch generation. So it's clear that, like, you know, people are following the lead of some of the more scummier practices, but that's kind of always been the case in the gaming industry. Though with all of that being said, let me know what you guys think about the addition of additional tiers in Xbox Game Pass's repertoire. The thought of a ad-supported tier that is slightly cheaper, or a cloud-only tier that is also somewhat cheaper, because at the moment, if you wanted to play cloud, you have to pay for Ultimate. So let me know what you guys think about all of these additions, changes, and thoughts and patterns going on with Microsoft at the moment. But with all that being said and done, let me know what you guys think about, well, I mean, I guess I already said that, all in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.